Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamerspro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. It's going to be a little bit different than things that we've usually discussed on this channel. As you guys know, the 2024 Olympics is underway in Paris, France, right? And usually whenever the Olympics come around, it's a very, 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 very big deal. It draws the attention of sports fans from all over the world because of the fact that, you know, it's a nationalistic sport. You have countries representing, players representing their countries. You also have the fact that you have a lot of exciting events like the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash. You have the swimming events. You have the NBA events. You have the gymnastic events. So there's so many different things. And if you turn on the TV, there's always something happening every single second. If you go turn on the TV right now, there's some event taking place. So there's a lot of excitement that comes with the Olympics. But for this particular Olympics, they did something that pissed off a lot of people. As you guys know, usually the opening ceremonies draws a lot of attention. Millions and millions of people tune in to watch it. So you have this big platform where you have all of these people's attention all over the world watching it, and you put on the show. But with this particular opening ceremony, it has drawn a lot of criticism for the anti-Christian imagery that was on display during the opening ceremony. Now, first of all, let me say this, give you guys some background. Number one, I'm a Christian, Pentecostal Christian. So I've been kind of studying the way the world has been moving and in the direction the world has been moving in probably since 2011. And you have seen, at least I have seen it, there's been this well thought out strategy to try to destroy Christianity in the world. And it's being done through movies, through films, through music, in some cases through various politicians and various public figures. And there's a real attack on Christianity. And, it surprises me because for as many Christians as there are in the world, we're talking about billions, I'm surprised at how so many different people can openly disrespect Christians and nothing happens. There are no ramifications. There's no real pushback at all. And I think the fact that Christians have not been pushing back on this stuff is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in the predicament that we're in. Now, some of you are like, okay, well, can you get to the meat of the story? Absolutely. Now, there were a bunch of different news websites that were discussing this, but I want to actually focus on a website a website, Fox News, where they were actually discussing this. So I want to get into this article here. So the article starts off with the headline: U.S. and world leaders denounce Paris Olympics opening ceremony mocking of the Last Supper. It continues on. Several U.S. and world lawmakers are denouncing the 2024 Paris Olympics opening ceremony after drag queens and artists made a spectacle of the Leonardo da Vinci painting The Last Supper, which depicts the last meal Jesus had with his disciples. Last night's mockery of the Last Supper was shocking and insulting to Christian people around the world who watched the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. House Speaker Mike Johnson said in a post on X, "The war on our faith and traditional values knows no bounds today, but we know the truth and the virtue will always prevail." He then referred to the Bible verse John 1 verse 15, which reads, "The light shines in the darkness and the darkness has never overcome it." Republican Marjorie Taylor also used a social media platform to voice her opposition to the ceremony and the people running the show. She said, "The French Olympic Committee has been hard at work taking down videos of their satanic, trans, and the occult opening ceremonies claiming copyright laws," she wrote. "It's our First Amendment right to share these videos and are outright over the anti-Christian Olympic opening ceremonies." Italy's Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini posted a picture of the drag queens over another picture of the Last Supper, criticizing the act. Opening the Olympics by insulting billions of Christians around the world was a really bad start. Dear French, he wrote, seedy. So other people started chiming in. There's another article here from the Guardian, and it says Paris Olympic organizers apologize to Christians for unintentional Last Supper parody. It continues on. The organizing committee of Paris 2024 has apologized to Catholics and other Christian groups who were outraged by a scene during the opening ceremony that evoked Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper painting with drag queens, a transgender model, and a singer made up as the Greek god of wine. The unintended parody of the biblical scene performed against the backdrop of the river scene was actually intended to interpret Dionysus and raise awareness of the absurdity of violence between human beings, organizers wrote on X. The committee was forced to apologize after the performance caused outrage among Catholic, Christian groups, and conservative politicians around the world. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. And then it continues on to say, we believe this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are really sorry. And then some other people, spoke about it. Even CNN spoke about it as well. Now, here's the irony in all of this. With all of this taking place, this ended up being one of the most viewed Olympics that we've had since the 2012 Summer Games. I want to quickly read from a Variety.com website. It says Paris Olympics opening ceremony delivers 28.6 million viewers for NBC Universal, most watched for Summer Games since 2012. It continues on. The watery spectacle of Friday's opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Games delivered 28.6 million viewers for NBC Universal platforms, making it the most watched kickoff for a Summer Olympics since London in 2012. Last night's opening ceremony one of the most ambitious and complex in Olympic history, was a spectacle for those in attendance in Paris, delivered a huge audience across NBCU platforms, and set records for Peacock, said NBC Sports Business Rick. Thanks to the tireless efforts of our production and engineering teams and extensive promotion, we are off to a strong start that this line with the expectations of our NBC stations and distribution and advertising partners. We are in great position as we look forward to the next 2 weeks of competition. So you heard what all of these different articles said. I got tongue twisted along the way. What are my thoughts about all of this? My thoughts are the following. As I said at the beginning of the show, I'm going to say it now. None of this surprises me. None of this surprises me whatsoever. Because it's the world that we live in today, right? It's the world that we live in today where, everything and anything goes. Everything and anything goes. People rarely have a line in the sand, and the things that are used to be viewed as backward are now acceptable today. This is the world that we live in, where people now can just say anything about Christians and it's no problem whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, if you say you're a Christian these days, some people look at you like, really? You're a Christian? Like, you still believe in that stuff? It's like, yeah, so what do you believe in? You found a way to kind of question what I believe. Fantastic, no problem. You have the right to ask your question and raise your questions as you please. But the question is, what do you believe in? And I just find it hilarious that people that don't believe in anything go around telling people what do they believe in. It's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me. Some people cannot fathom the concept of faith, which is just, I feel sorry for you. And I'm not here to insult anybody, but if you don't have any faith, man, life can be tough at times. How are you going to figure it out when you relying all on yourself? Well, I guess so. But to me, look, this doesn't surprise me. I'm happy that these voices spoke up against it. There should be some pushback. It is not okay for this to take place. If it was another religion, best and believe people would be up in arms talking about it. And it's important that I say this as well. Every group claims that they have a right to defend what it is they believe. So if you feel a type of way of Christians stepping up to the lectern and saying, hey, look, this is wrong, then you're part of the problem. Because it seems like there are only certain groups out there that should be able to express their views or displeasure and whatever it is that they're seeing. But if Christians do it, all of a sudden, oh, here they come again. No, something is wrong about it. And I'm glad that people are speaking up against it because it was offensive. But to me, I wasn't shocked because we see this go on all the day, whether it's overt or covert. We see it. I mean, it's crazy. I just had a daughter and, as a parent now, when you turn into a parent, the way you view the world is totally different. So yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy. So any parents watching this show, and if you have kids, man, you better be vigilant. You better be vigilant because these people are not playing, and you need to be very, very serious, and people need to say something about this. This is going to be an interesting one, right? This is going to be an interesting one because yesterday it was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. As you guys know, USA kicked off its Olympics campaign against Serbia, featuring NBA superstar Nikola Jokic. Now, going into this tournament, the USA has been slated to be the heavy favorites. But yesterday's game was going to be a big test because we were going to be playing against a legitimate team. Now, I saw the entire game from start to finish, right? And after the game, we actually decided to go live. Like we did like maybe a 20-minute live or so, just kind of covering the game, giving you guys our thoughts, what we thought happened and how we see this thing taking place moving forward. So if you saw the game yesterday, which I did, and I'm sure many people did, you will understand what was going on. In that first quarter, the USA initially got down by 8 points, by 10-2 to Serbia. And then they were able to fight back, tie the game, and they kept on going on and scoring. And I think they finished that first half being up 25-20 in the first quarter being up 25-20. Then going into the second quarter, while teams were still playing each other closely, USA played its trump card. And that trump card was when they decided to sub Kevin Durant into the game. Now, if you've been following the story of this team, you will know that there were some question marks of whether or not Kevin Durant was going to be ready for tip-off, ready for the first game. But then, prior to the game, USA released a public statement saying that Kevin Durant was going to be available. And when KD got into the game, the teams were playing each other relatively close. The moment KD walked into the game, he completely changed the entire complexion of the game. Not just for his team, but the entire game. KD came in the first half and hit 8 out of 8 field goal attempts. He hit every single shot, and one shot after the other was more demoralizing than the previous shot. He finished the first half scoring 21 points. 21 points in the first half. And when he came into the game, I absolutely thought that was a difference maker. And he was the one, his play, his efficient play was what really gave USA that separation and that cushion, that 10 plus point separation that they needed going into the second half, where they ultimately won the game. So during the live, we put on the thumbnail, Kevin Durant saves USA. Kevin Durant and LeBron James help USA dominate and take game one. Why did we decide to put Kevin Durant on the thumbnail? Why did we decide to say KD save USA? Because that was something that absolutely sent LeBron fans into a frenzy all over the channel and basically started coming at me for hating on LeBron James by giving Kevin Durant his props. I want to get through some of the posts and some of the posts that we put on the community section and some of the things that people were saying. Let's get into that now. So let me go through some of the posts on the channel because people were really, really coming at me in the comment section. I was putting up a few posts, right, throughout the game. I'm trying to get to the first post that I put up on the community section. Yes, it was in the beginning of the game, where I essentially said that USA being down 10-2, they better pay attention to the game, right? Then I put up a post after that, and I said, so basically KD is the savior of the USA team. And then it started. One person said, what do you expect from the front runner? Another person said, play for his Achilles. Then one person said, here it goes. No, he is not. LeBron is, LOL. KD, great, but it's LeBron. We all know if they lose the Olympics, it's going to fall on LeBron, not KD. Even you know that. And I said, LeBron may be their leader, but Durant is clearly their best player. Then, of course, one person said, sort of like the year Kobe played with LeBron. Kobe was the leader, but LeBron was clearly the best player. I didn't even bother to dignify even dignify his comments, that statement, or even replying to it. So I just totally ignored him there. And then another person said, bro, Bro had 2 more points than LeBron, but 9 less assists and 5 less rebounds. Laughing my ass off. But he's the savior. Whatever gets people commenting, though, it's sad because your audience isn't smart enough to look stuff up themselves and will just take your post and run with it. Another person said, you're becoming Skip 2.0. Another person said, DP always hating on Bron. Another person said, what's another person? Another person said, Skip Bayless level LeBron hatred. Grow up, Unc. That's just one post. Then I put up another post where I said, no wonder they were begging for KD to come back. He's clearly the best player for USA. This one drew about 147 comments. Another person said, Charles is petty as you know what. Another person said, LeBron's still going to get all the praise. Another person said, after watching the Olympic ceremony, I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay, that was something else. Another person said, he's the best scorer. He's not the best two-way player. He's not the best player. 2 different things. Another person said, just say you hate LeBron. And I just wrote back, I will admit it when you say you love him. And another person said, the comments didn't stop. No, LeBron is. Those were just on the post. On the video itself, people were coming at me. Oh, you're hating on LeBron. Oh, you're hating on LeBron. Oh, you're hating on LeBron. Couldn't it also be viewed by giving LeBron all the credit? Couldn't it be viewed that you're hating on Stephen Curry or that you're hating on Kevin Durant? Could that not be a possibility? Of course it can be a possibility with these people. Of course. The one moment we give Kevin Durant his props, all of a sudden I'm hating on LeBron James. Here's the facts. These guys are talking about stats, and stats play a role. But I actually saw the game. What did Kenny Smith say? There are 3 types of lies. They're lies, damn lies, and stats. If you just look at the stats and you don't look at the game, you would think, well, LeBron was clearly the best player on the floor. He clearly was. But if you watch the game, you will clearly see that the difference maker in that game was Kevin Durant, who, by the way, led the team in scoring while playing 10 less minutes. LeBron played 27. Kevin Durant played 17. 17. Because I believe LeBron is a starter or whatever the hell it is, so maybe he's going to play more minutes. So he played more minutes. But if you watch the game, you will clearly see that KD had the biggest impact on that game. Clearly. Because with all of the assistant and all of that stuff LeBron was doing, they were still pretty much neck and neck in that game. And as a matter of fact, you're looking at, oh, well, LeBron scored. The real reason the USA won that game was because they were able to hit more threes. Something I pointed out in that live. I think Serbia hit, let me go to the box score. Serbia hit, what did they hit from 3? They shot 24% from 3. They were 9 out of 37. USA shot 56% from 3. And they shot 18 out of 32. And if USA starts missing some of those threes, you have a totally different ball game, in my personal view. The USA is going to be heavily relying upon the three ball to be competitive in these Olympics. But to me, all of a sudden, I'm getting all you hating on LeBron. And here's the thing: I gotta try to understand. But LeBron fans, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Why are you guys the way that you? Why are y'all the way that y'all are as people? Why? Let me ask you. Every time you open up the internet, just go to Instagram. You go to Bleacher Report, you go to SportsCenter, you go to NBA, you go to ESPN, you go to all of these Instagram accounts. Every single moment of the day, they're posting pics about LeBron and posts about LeBron. Y'all in the comment section, twerking it up, wrestling with bears, fighting, just trying to tug jars of honey out of their hand, just hollering and screaming in the comment section. These platforms give you guys so much LeBron content. So much LeBron. Y'all be sitting in the corner beating your meat next to a bucket of honey, just going off with it, right? Just going off with it. Y'all got all of these people giving you LeBron. You go on TV, you got people all day twerking it up on TV. LeBron. Y'all loving it. And then you see one mofo out there talking about, but KD played all right. All of a sudden we got a problem. All of a sudden, we hating on LeBron. Like, yo, y'all want everybody. Y'all got me knocking over the mic. Y'all want everybody. Everybody. Can there not be another opinion? Can there not be somebody that say, yo, KD gave it up. Like, KD did his thing. KD did his thing. I was looking at a Kobe Bryant post that they put up. I believe it was on ESPN, where Kobe was the only person ever to win a gold medal and an Oscar. And then I'm scrolling through the pictures of Kobe's Olympic moments, and then in the last image, they must have a picture of Kobe and LeBron there too. They must put LeBron there. Always. And in a minute, somebody else say something that, no, man, you hating on LeBron James. You hating on LeBron. How dare you say KD the best? KD is the best player the U.S. has when it goes to Olympic competition. He's that dude. That's what it said. That's what his record says. And if you say that, oh, you hating on, I'm like, yo, man, y'all are, I don't know. This is a topic. This is a topic that I wanted to touch on before because I'd already seen this soundbite. Came out about 4 or 5 days ago. But for whatever reason, I forgot to get to it. So I was like, okay, I remember this is something that I wanted to discuss. So, as you guys know, Carmelo Anthony has his own podcast now, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Paul George has his own podcast as well. And recently, Carmelo visited Paul George's podcast, right? And he was there, and they were talking about his career and all of these different things. Then they get to the point where Paul George actually brings it up. He goes, so let's take us behind the scene with the infamous Banana Boat crew. Chris Paul, LeBron James, D Wade, and Carmelo. All of them used to be boys. They used to vacation a lot with each other throughout the summer. So he goes, take us behind the curtains of how the Miami Heat thing came together, and how were you how did you play a role in all? How were you connected to that entire scenario? Because if we think of the Heat big three, you think of LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, right? But there were always these rumors of, well, it was supposed to be LeBron, D Wade, and Carmelo Anthony. Those had always been the rumors. I think I'd even heard Stephen A. Smith say that, but then they said Carmelo ended up taking more money, so he couldn't work out. Right? So I've heard that before. There's no real news there. But as Carmelo Anthony began to speak, he then begins to reveal that no, LeBron and these guys not only wanted LeBron, D Wade, and Carmelo, but they also envisioned a scenario where it would be a big four, where it would have been LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, and Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo basically reveals how he essentially had to turn LeBron and these guys down. Like, yo, man, I already got something going for myself. Like, can I see what I can do first before we start teaming up? And I was like, yo, wait a minute. These dudes try to pull off a big four? For those of you who don't believe that this is actually a thing, we want to play exactly what Carmelo Anthony had to say to Paul George now, and then we're going to come back and react to his comment. Take a listen to Carmelo Anthony here.
Man, we gotta ask about the infamous Banana Boat crew.
Oh, shit.
You, D Wade, Bron, CP. Was there any moment of y'all ever teaming up? Or was there conversations of y'all ever teaming up somewhere in the league? Between y'all,
Us four?
Yeah, y'all four.
Before the big three, the Miami big three,
Mm-hmm.
it was talks about me and Bron, like, because we were out of me, him, and D Wade. Like, it was me and him close, and D Wade was kind of like, and then it was like me and D Wade close, and then Bron and D Wade was close, but we never was like all three, locked in until we started going and getting old, you know what I mean? And then we had like experiences, played on the, world championship team, and I think that's when it kind of really started to like blossom. And I think it was because we lost together. We felt the same pain. We felt the same sentiment. So that brought us all three together. With Bron, it was always like, yo, we got to make it happen. Like, some way, somehow, the opportunity comes, let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We just never knew where. You know what I mean? Like, we could around with each other, but where? You going to New York? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, nigga. Look, you coming to Denver? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, chick. So it was just like, as friends and like competitors growing up together, it's like, yeah, we want to, I would love to play with PG on this team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kel on this team. But that was always just like a what if of being Bron.
Right.
Then the conversation got serious after like 06, 07, 08 with like the big three. So they were supposed to go, it was supposed to be Bosh and Wade, and then me and Bron, like going somewhere. We just couldn't find out where. And we wanted it to be New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere. Or Chicago. Chicago was in the fold.
Okay. With you and Bron?
Me and Bron. But I was like, if we gonna find a place, then let it be go to Chicago. Like, I'm in Denver, you in Cleveland, free agency hit, let's try to make it work.
They couldn't make that happen.
I didn't know at the time of the collective bargaining agreement, again, I wasn't as educated on the game, on the business of the game, on the business of the sport. So I didn't understand contracts and 3 years, 5 years, you know what I mean? That lockout. I knew a little bit, but I wasn't really business savvy enough to understand what was about to happen. So in my situation, I was in Denver. We was in the playoffs every year. We was 50 plus wins. Like we was building something in Denver. So I didn't want to leave. So why take a 3-year deal? No, I'm locked into this 5-year deal. And it was like 5 years, like, I don't know, 85, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I got ridiculed for taking a 5-year deal. Like, what? You know where the come from? I'm not leaving no money on the table. Right. This was me at that, at that age. Like, right. I'm not leaving no money on the table. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm winning. I'm in Denver. We building something.
Right.
We got new powder blue uniforms. Like, we popping out here.
That's right.
Right? So I don't want to leave this to go do something that I might regret later down the line. And also at that time, I wasn't ready to go partner and team up with nobody because I was building my own in Denver. Mm-hmm. So to leave my own team up with somebody, it wouldn't have worked because we were all young and and we all going down our own path. So I'm over here. Like whatever y'all gonna do, y'all gonna do. So I get the call when they say, yo, it's a lockout. Lockout's coming. Yo, we taking a 3-year deal. Right? So let me think about that. Hit y'all back, man. Hit y'all back. Call my agent at the time, which was, I think I was with Bill Duffy at the time and Calvin Andrews. And I'm like, 3-year deal. Yo, bro, it's no conversation. I'm staying. I'm taking a 5-year 85. I'm staying in Denver. I'm happy, boom, boom. So they was trying to finagle how to make that work. And then it was like, I think one of them had to take like 16 and the other one 17 and the other one like, you know what I mean? Like all of them had to really sacrifice, which I take my hat off to them for doing that because that's hard as to leave at that point in time in your career, young like that. We always at the top of the game.
Right.
And just say all of that and come together, like nobody was thinking about that. So when they did it, it just made everybody like, oh, Melo, you could have been the fourth one. Now, and I'm going to keep it a buck. Imagine me at 23 years old, 24 years old, being the fourth option on the team when I'm leading my team every single year. Like I'm finding my way in this league.
Right.
And you want me to leave that and go be a fourth option.
Yeah.
I don't know mentally how I was going to be ready for that.
So let me get this straight. These dudes wanted to form a team, a starting 5 that consisted of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh. What? Shaggy, what? Scooby. Y'all wanted to do what? Let me tell you something. The decision was already viewed as one of the weakest moves in the history of sports, the decision. Y'all try to put it on KD. Like he had to, KD's move was pretty weak too. Don't get it twisted. But he took what LeBron and these guys did in Miami and just pretty much just took it to the second power. He was like, all right, we're going to amplify this thing here. But don't get it twisted. The hate that the Miami Heat received for pulling off that move was deafening. Everybody hated the Miami Heat. The only people that liked the Miami Heat during that period were Miami Heat fans. Apart from that, nobody liked that. Nobody wanted to see them win. And I remember when they lost in the 2011 final. Y'all may not remember. That team was obnoxious. I remember when they were saying Dirk Nowitzki had like a cold. He was dealing with a flu or something like that. And I remember when Dwayne Wade was walking down the hallway trying to like basically poking fun of Dirk Nowitzki. Like it's cold. He was like, and then LeBron over there, yeah, you feel something? I got this is what they were doing, these dudes. They were the most nauseating team in the entire NBA because of what they pulled off. Like it was bad. And when they lost, everybody was happy. Everybody was happy that team lost. So to now think that not only were they trying to pull that off, they were also trying to add Carmelo Anthony to the mix. These are all young bulls, entering their prime, whatever you want to call it. They're in their mid-20s, in the heat of it. And they were trying to form a big four? A big four? To do what? Okay, we're going to go off and we're going to win a bunch of championships. And at the end of that, somebody's supposed to be looking at y'all like, y'all are what? Like, oh, this dude, the next coming to Michael Jordan, or this dude over. Like that. Nobody wasn't going to think that. Number one. And number two, Carmelo says something that I think a lot of us thought like, yo, but I'm already the man. So why do I need to go be under somebody else? I can understand if Carmelo and LeBron team together, and trust me, that in itself would have been a cheat code. But we had seen things similar to that with maybe a Kobe and Shaq. We had seen that. But we had not seen, so basically on that team, you would have had three players that would have led the league in scoring in LeBron James, D Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, plus a 20-something and 22 and 10 or 22 and 11 guy in Chris Bosh. And that's good for basketball? This why Charles Barkley said on All In, you want everybody. Do you want everybody? They trying to collect these dudes like Infinity Stones. They need everybody. They ain't got, let me tell you something. If they had done that, they already get ridiculed for those rings. And here's what's crazy about all of that. Here's what's crazy about that Miami Heat Big Three or Big Four, whatever the hell you want to call it. Do you guys realize that the only person that really walked away from that entire situation with it being kind of added toward his legacy is LeBron? Do you realize that? Do you realize at the end of all of this, almost nobody gives Dwayne Wade any respect? Do you guys realize that? Do you guys realize that nobody ever really talks about Chris Bosh and what he contributed? It's all about what LeBron did. All about it. LeBron fans don't even bring up D Wade. They don't even mention him anywhere. It's like some dude that just existed somewhere. The only person that came out of that looking decent, I mean, LeBron did look bad, but in terms of we're going to add it to his career, is LeBron. Nobody even talks about D Wade. Nobody. Bro, man. Well, guess what? I'm a hater for pointing this out. That's what I am. I'm the hater for pointing this out. Something that nobody anywhere or in big media will talk about. Nobody. Because it's all clicks. You know when I found out it was all clicks in big media? You know when I found that out? That these dudes, they playing a game. They up in arms. They not up in arms about everything. Ain't like that. Ain't like that. I figured out it was a click when Gilbert Arenas recently made those comments. Now, we're not going to do another show on it because we made our opinions clear on it. And Gil was on the show, so it was nothing malicious. But we're like, bro, that wasn't it right there. You know when I realized it was a click? Do you realize that no big voice spoke on that, what Gilbert Arenas said? You notice Shannon Sharp didn't say nothing about it? Chad Johnson didn't say nothing about it? Stephen A. Smith didn't say nothing about it? They didn't even talk about it anywhere on TV. Because Gil part of the in-group. Them dudes ain't say nothing about it. But had that been somebody else, oh, this guy, so-and-so person said that over there. So-and-so person said that over there. Oh, let's run over there and start hollering. That's when I felt, all right. Even Marcellus Wiley, who's cool with Gilbert Arenas, and he said he's cool with him. He spoke on it. Even he had the balls to talk on it. None of these, and I'm not saying, but we can see what it is.